I'm really excited to see on the news today that Donald Trump, he was hoping to get everything back in order by Easter. And that's really exciting because a couple days ago when I had gone to the grocery store, I noticed that all the Easter goods were in just one small corner of the store while everybody was shopping for hand sanitizer, toilet paper, canned food, and surprisingly, beer. The funny thing about the beer was that all of the beer was sold out except for this one brand because of its very unfortunate name. And that was just really funny to see. It was kind of like reminding us about the situation that was going on. But I hope Easter can come back to the Easter stuff could be displayed a little bit more proudly over the next week or so. It really felt like Easter was being quarantined. And it made me think about and kind of appreciate all the people that I've known since I can't really hang out with anybody right now. One of my first friends in elementary school was when I was in third grade. I had a friend of mine who was really nice to me, but even though we were up to some not so good things, I wanted to ride the elevator in our elementary school just because it was only allowed for handicapped students and I wasn't allowed in there, and it just had a mysterious feel to it. And so I asked a handicapped classmate of mine if I could go in there with him. But he's a nice kid. He doesn't want to break the rules. He tried to ask the teacher for me, but the teacher said no, and he just accepted it. And a few days later, the elevator happened to arrive at the door, and another classmate of mine, he screams for me to run for the elevator. His name is Craig, but English was my second language, and I couldn't pronounce the word Craig very well. So I ended up calling him the elevator guy. For some reason, the elevator guy was easier for me to pronounce. And he looked like a kind of person who would grow up to work on elevators for some reason, an elevator mechanic of some sort. And so I just called him the elevator guy. And so for many years, that's what I called him. 10 years later, while we were in college, I came up with this idea. I had quit drinking soda, I had started eating healthier, and I came up with this idea that I would eat a lot of bananas every day to keep myself full so I wouldn't crave junk food. And I was eating 40, 50 bananas a day, if I remember correctly. And one day I decided to try and break a world record, and I ended up eating 156 of them, if I remember correctly. I think I've made a video on YouTube a couple times eating bananas. At the time, YouTube didn't exist yet, so I wrote it on my Facebook. I think I used to love to vandalize Wikipedia, and on the banana article, I wrote about how I had broken a world record by eating 156 of them in one day. My friend Craig got wind of the story, and one day he saw me on the street, and he says, "I heard about your banana experiment." And so, as a result, we got to see each other again. My last year in college, I had gone to print some materials at the computer lab, and I hadn't noticed that somebody else had already logged into the computers, and so when I printed it out, it came out under somebody else's name, and so I had accidentally used some of this guy's print quota. We get about 500 pages a semester for printing, and I had accidentally used like 30-some pages of his print quota. And so I go up to my friend Craig to tell him about how I had accidentally stolen some print quota. It turns out my victim, his username was JIF4. His initials were JIF, possibly. And I told my friend Craig, in Chinese, 4 sounds like death. So any username that has 4 is probably unlucky. And my friend Craig, he says that I had jiffed him. I guess he meant to say that I had gypped Jiff, and he got very tongue-tied and asked me if I had jiffed this guy. And so he loves little scams like that. He loves to jip people. And so after that, we came up with this terminology that anytime you scam somebody, you jiffed that person. He had some experiences on eBay where he had jiffed a seller or jiffed a buyer or something like that. And he bragged to me that he had jiffed him. Anyways, so it's just a reminder that all those little moments can become something. even if they're as stupid as trying to ride an elevator or trying to GIF somebody online. Thanks for watching.